go ahead and finish our last couple of examples, well, a few more definitions. So two more definitions. What we call is one is called collinear. We kind of referenced this earlier on being all on the same line. So in this case, collinear and coplanar you have to highlight in green. Now they are distinct points or objects that are on the same line. And if you look at linear, that should make sense because it's a line. And planar will be plane, all of the points, distinct points, lines, and objects on the same plane. So we'll write down plane here. And when I say distinct points right here, this means different or unique. So if you don't know what that means different or unique. And that can be a piece of key information, so we're going to highlight that in this yellow. Again, you should be highlighting this in green and these in yellow. How do I sketch something that is, in fact, collinear? So again, we're just going to draw a line because we want it linear, and then we're going to put 1, and then 2, and then 3. And let's go P, Q, and R. We've been keeping those, and we can say that this is points P, comma, Q, comma, and R will be, or are, collinear. That's how you would say it, and actually how you write it. Very similar, coplanar. Again, we'll still, because it's on the same plane, we're going to sketch a sheet of paper, and we're going to write a bunch of points on here, so I can write like A, B, C, D. So I just put random points on this piece of paper. So A, B, C, or D. They cannot be off. They can't be like on the side here because that would be not on the plane anymore. It has to be on that sheet of paper. Now we are going to write that points, or say points A, B, C, and D are in fact coplanar. So that's how, or what that is, or those are. So let's go ahead and analyze a few relationships from example 2 here. So in the figure below, Q, X, Y, and S lie in plane P. So remember the corner is the name of this plane. And we have Q, X, Y, S. They're all inside of this sheet of paper. We also know that R and T, like R is above and T is going to be below, or do not lie in plane P. So we're going to fill in the blanks and write a true statement here. So R blank and blank are distinct points that are collinear. So we look for R. What's another 2 points that are on this line here that R is on? So which you can see T and S are going to be part of that. So we're going to do R, S, and T. Those are collinear because they're all on this vertical line right here. Now, the line YS, this line YS, we go find Y and S is right here. It's this line right here. And blank are distinct lines that intersect. So we only have this line and this line. So notice how there's R, S, and T. We only need 2 of these letters. So I can do ST, RT. I think I'm going to go where the point intersects so that we know that S is involved with both of them. So I'm going to say ST here for that line. Again, you could take any of those 2 points and write them in any way, but I like doing the ones where we know it intersects. So they both share that S, so it intersects there. So the second to last one here is X, blank, blank, and blank are distinct points that are on or are coplanar. So they're all in the same plane. So R and T do not lie on this plane, but Q, X, Y, and S. By the way, again, P is not a point, so we cannot use that. So that is something you should write down as a piece of, so we will say this is not a point, this is a key piece of information. So we're going to highlight that in yellow. That is not a point. But we know that these X, Y, Q, and S, they're all in that plane. So X, Y, S, and Q. Again, it doesn't matter which order you write them as long as you list them. So another name for plane P, this plane is this here. We only need 3 letters. So we're going to need 3 non-collinear points to name this plane. So they can't be on the same line. For instance, we can't use X, Y, and S because those are on the same line, because there's a lot of other planes that can use those, and we can talk about that visually later. But we have to at least use Q, X, and Y, or Q, X, and S. Any of these four combinations, or of these combinations, we always have to use Q though. So we're going to make sure we start with Q, and then let's just say X, Y. So plane Q, X, Y. So let's go ahead and do these last two on your own. So I'm going to let you go ahead and try these. So pause this video, try to do this one here, and try to do this one here. And then once you finish that, I will have answers. And then I would like you to summarize what are the main ideas that you learned today. So hopefully you got these. This is an array. You have to start with H for your thing. If you didn't, it's wrong. Remember this endpoint, or I like to think of it as a starting point. Starts here, goes out. You have to use H, then G. This is a line because it has arrows on both sides, hence why you have arrows on both sides. And this is a segment, which is part of a line which has endpoints on both sides, hence why there's no arrows. This one could be J or H. Again, K is right here, so anything on this line, which is J or H. ML, this line right here, intersects this line here, which you can use either H, J, or K. Any of those combinations of those letters. I just use J and K with a line symbol above it. And then H, J, K, N are on this plane. That, remember, Z is not a point, so any of these four letters, H, J, K, and N, we have to write all of those down, and it doesn't matter the order. And then plane Z, you have to pick N, and then any two other letters here. N is not collinear, so we have to do N, J, K, and H, K. Any of these combinations would be those.